It's employees like you that are slowly killing small businesses like me.
Well, hang on. Right. Right, he does all right out of my old bones. I'm always going the extra mile, mate.
Are you now?
Yes, I am. And I'm telling you, if there was more care and understanding from employers like you than the honest working woman, she'd pay it back in spades.
All right, well, in that case, let's go for a 3-day working weekend and universal basic income for everyone, shall we, comrade?
Oh, we can't all be evil capitalists, you know.
Evil? C'est moi.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
Hello and welcome to episode 395 of The Talk of the Street, another official Coronation Street catch-up podcast that flash forwarded to Monday earlier on today, and now kind of wish that I hadn't. I'm Gavin.
And I'm wuthering.
You're wuthering at height.
I'm wuthering from a great height.
Heathcliff. It's me. It's Kathy.
It's Kathy.
I've come home. Let me into your window. Ho ho ho.
It is a travesty that Emerald Farrell has not used that song in this movie. And instead
It's a little on the nose, isn't it?
And instead using the music of Charlie XCX for some reason.
It would be much better if you just used every other Kate Bush song apart from that one.
Brat Bronte. It's Brat Bronte summer or winter. Anyway, yeah. Finally we get a week with like more than one movie that I'm interested in seeing, and it just so happens that it's Valentine's Day.
What else are you interested in seeing?
Well, there's Crime 101 with Mark Ruffalo and Thor and Barry Keoghan and Halle Berry. Quite interested to see that, even though the name is terrible.
It is. It's not a great name.
No, but apparently it's Crime 101 it's the 101 highway. It's not like Crime 101 is in
Yeah, I think they made that clear in the trailer.
education. So there's that. There's the new Sam Rockwell movie directed by Gore Verbinski, a.k.a. Mr. Pirates of the Caribbean. Be Good, Something, Don't Die. It's a really long title. So that looks like fun. There's Cold Storage with everybody's favorite member of the Stranger Things gang, Joe Keery, with Liam Neeson and Leslie Manville. So that looks like fun. I'm sure this is all very fascinating for...
Let's assume that it isn't and move on. How are you?
Unfortunately, our oldest and loveliest cat, Mr. Black and White Spotted Kitten Broom, first of his name, has left the building, so to speak.
Left the building for the last time.
Yes. Poor wee thing.
It's a shame.
It is.
He was getting old, but he was a lovely cat. He thought he was a dog. He kept on going on walks with us when I'm taking the dog out. All the neighbours loved him, even though he probably shat in their backyard and stuff.
Even our neighbor Janet, who is a lovely human being and one of our favorite people, who is afraid of all animals, loved our cat sitting out and sunning himself on her porch.
Yeah, her porch got more sun than ours did.
Yes. Does.
Me speak well, good.
Yeah. Me speak pretty one day.
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. Yeah, poor old Black and White. So this podcast is dedicated to the memory of Black and White Spotted Kitten.
Yes. Moment of silence.
Shall we preamble, my dear?
Yes, please.
Give us some of that feline Corrie news.
Our Eva will be taking a wee break soon.
What?
So that Catherine Tildesley can film the finale for her other show, The Good Ship Murder.
Oh, okay.
So
Really?
wee break. Yeah, she needs to film the finale, apparently.
Huh.
So this has people speculating as to...
Well, people will speculate.
As to what this may mean for a storyline we will be talking about in spoiler alert.
Ooh. How long show for? Did it say?
Didn't say. A wee break.
A wee break.
A wee break. Yes.
It's not like months on it. It's not a Maureen Lipman break.
No.
Okay, good.
No. She's not going on tour. She's just...
Because they kind of made a big deal about this.
Uh-huh.
About her coming back.
Right.
With the Driscolls.
Right.
that we were going to love.
Yes.
Oh, we were so going to love the Driscolls. And I love them all.
Except for Maggie.
Equally.
Except for Maggie and Will and sometimes Ollie. Ollie's growing on us.
And next week, Ben.
No, we will love Ben forever.
Maybe not next week.
I have no notes on hating Ben next week.
Well, as I hinted at in my,
You
in my
watched,
intro,
yeah, you
I've already seen
you've
Monday's
already
episode.
seen Monday's episode, so
I mean, he's a bit of an asshole, but it's understandable why he's an asshole.
right. And I really have no spoiler alert notes for Monday's episode except for some vague points of interest.
Which is strange, having seen it.
The whole front flashback, Back to the Future sort of thing seems pointless to me anyway. So anyway.
Agreed.
Well wishes to Beverly Collard after her diagnosis with breast cancer.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. That's awful.
Yeah. Because she had already left for Ireland before the results came in. And then, it was the day of filming the first episode when her doctor called and said, you need to come back.
Oh, God.
You need to come back. And she's like, oh, can't I? I'm only going to be gone for a month. And he's like, no, you have to come back now.
Oh, it's like
For
that
treatment.
serious? Wow.
Yeah. So our best wishes to her in her recovery and hopefully a return to her new show.
Here.
Yes. It looks good. And she looks great in the publicity stills that they have for it.
Does it? Should we be starting a podcast about it?
No. Where would we put it?
I mean, I've got at least a spare 15 minutes in my day.
And finally, Philip Lowry, our dentist, who died last April, has apparently left the majority of his estate to the Actors Benevolent Fund.
Good for him.
Yes, I knew there was a reason I liked him. I feel very justified in my love for him and for one Dennis Tanner.
Yeah. He's a good character.
Yeah. I feel like, even though it's in the 2000s, I feel like soon we should do a classic Corrie episode on his return. And that is Corrie News.
That's Corrie News. And that bright news about Philip Lowry and his last will and testament being used for charitable purposes is such a beacon of light and hope.
Absolutely.
That it guides us seamlessly, as though carried by a big thing with a massive hand, to the feedback section that I like to call Everyone's a Critic.
Physical mail!
Woo!
Physical mail!
Physical mail!
Sounds like we've got physical mail, Helen.
We do.
And it's your job to read that physical mail out.
Yes. We have 2 postcards.
Oh, it's lovely stuff.
Yes. We have one from Hope, British Columbia, Canada, with a statue of a manly man on the front.
Not just a manly man.
It's John
That's
Rambo. You know what this reminds me of?
Rambo?
That, and also that we need to get down to Detroit and take pictures of the RoboCop statue.
Yeah. Maybe we can do that tomorrow as well.
So there are 2 statues in this world depicting Sylvester Stallone as different characters that he has played in the movies.
Yeah.
And we've been to one of them.
What's the significance of Hope, British Columbia? Is that where First Blood was filmed?
Yes. The statue commemorates the filming of Rambo First Blood in Hope and area in 1982, with Rambo played by Sylvester Stallone. So
That's hilarious.
British Columbia stood in for Columbia?
No.
Where was First Blood? Or Vietnam?
No, the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, why did I think that Rambo was a Vietnam movie?
The second one is him rescuing Vietnam vets. Have you never seen the Rambo movies?
No. It's your turn
Now
to go.
now you know how I feel when I hadn't seen The Devil Wears Prada.
And there was something else.
You've got to watch First Blood. First Blood's amazing.
Wait, what was it yesterday that you said you'd never seen? Oh, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, because I was
Still shocked by that.
I was a 20-something-year-old man.
Everybody goes to Disney movies, though. Even 20-year-old men who are straight.
Not masculine 20-year-old men like I was.
With their
At one
girlfriends.
point.
With their girlfriends who love Disney princess movies in their 20s. You're telling me Alison didn't like Disney movies?
Well, you remember my girlfriends better than I did. I was like, who was I going out with when I was 20? Yeah, it was Alison. She wasn't she wasn't a Disney princess sort of girl. She was a Happy Meal, collect the toys kind of girl.
Beauty and the Beast, that wasn't Happy Meal. That was Pizza Hut. But you didn't have Pizza Hut. Do you have
Yeah, we
Pizza
did.
You had Pizza Hut?
Yeah, I didn't live in North Korea, Helen.
Anyway, we
Back
are...
to this postcard.
Back to this postcard. We have to go and see the statue.
We do.
It is amazing.
We'll do that tomorrow.
No, tomorrow's RoboCop. We already decided that. Dear Helen and Gavin.
That's us.
It's us. I love living in Hope, British Columbia, surrounded by beautiful mountains. I appreciate your authenticity, time, and effort
That's very
inviting
kind.
us into the cozy Coronation Circle. Love, Michelle.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank
That
you
is
very much.
lovely.
Imagine living in the town where First Blood was filmed. Is it? Do I recognise it? I'm looking at on Google Maps now.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to read the other postcard because it's short. This is a postcard with a lovely etching of the Proud Lions in Trafalgar Square by Richard Briggs. Isn't that lovely?
That's lovely.
Someday you will take me to London. And we will take pictures of these proud lions and go, London!
Oh, so Hope, British Columbia is just over the border.
So what you're saying is we could go visit Rick and then go see the Rambo statue.
That's what you took from that?
Yes. This postcard says, London!
London.
London! Love, VB, Amy, and Mohammed.
Oh, thank you very much, folks.
Yes, London!
Is that our first London postcard? I
Well,
think it's our first London postcard on the corkboard.
so yes, this is not just our first London postcard, it's our first England postcard.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, though, for those lovely postcards. I'm glad I went to go to the P.O. box today. And I've learned something about Hope, British Columbia.
That we have to visit there. Soon.
We have plenty of other correspondence. Una writes, great podcast again this week. I'm afraid I cannot remember why you called the Timbot that name. I've got 2 kids and haven't had a good night's sleep for 10 years, so my memory doesn't work anymore. Do you watch the latest series Industry on HBO? I do not. Have you seen it?
No.
The actor who played Spider from Corrie was in episode 4 very briefly, playing a role that was very much giving undercover cop vibes, channeling Spider when we last saw him on Corrie.
Holy
but in
crap.
London.
I'm gonna
London.
I'm gonna need to watch at least episode 4 of Industry.
From a forever friend of the podcast, Una. Thank you very much, Una. Very kind.
Yes.
Alien writes, here's a link to the Causing Death by Dangerous Driving page on sentencingcouncil.org.uk, and it looks as though the judge gave Debbie the lowest sentence possible within the guidelines. Of course, I guess if the truth comes out, she could be charged with perverting the course of justice. So there's a bright side.
Right, yes. Although she could also say she has dementia.
Right.
Because she does.
Tina writes, I think Helen is very right when she says Shona isn't focusing enough on Harper. Corrie always seems to start a story, then veer off onto another path before the first story is resolved. Shona having Harper, but immediately moving on to her sister/father drama, being a prime example. I wondered if this was an example of Shona's depression, maybe?
Does
But I
Shona
don't-
have depression?
Well, the fact
She
that
has
she's
brain damage.
the fact that she was maybe not all that keen about going and seeing Harper, but I don't think that's got really anything to do with anything. I think it's just that the show has moved on and wants her to be doing something else now.
Yes, because for Christ's sake, we cannot have another postpartum depression story. We've had enough with Gemma, and did Lauren have a little postpartum? I mean, she had enough trauma going on besides postpartum.
It was difficult to tell where one started and the other one stopped.
Right, yes, when your comorbidities start to overlap like that.
Tina gives us more examples. Debbie being diagnosed with early onset dementia, but then dealing with her baby, and then the fallout from the crash. And you can go back to Paul having MND, but that story being distracted by him stealing cars. Yeah, I hated that. Why don't the writers choose a path, then mine it for all it's worth instead of all these side adventures? I quite agree.
Yes.
Now, we have a request from Noel,
Oh, God.
and
Hold
that's
on.
to do a very short one-act play based on the movie Chinatown starring Jack Nicholson and I think Faye Dunaway.
If you become a friend of the podcast, then we have to do your one-act plays.
That feels like it's an unwritten rule.
It's one of the perks of being an executive producer of this show.
Do I need to write that down as one of the benefits on Patreon?
Name in the credits, one-act play. Spoiler alert, and classic quote.
Right. So I will be playing Kevin.
Even though Noel has spelled my name wrong.
I'm going to be Kevin, and you're going to be Debbie, and then later on, Abby.
In which I will use the same voice.
Okay, break a leg, says Noel.
Oh.
Yeah, it's your line.
Sorry, my line is first. He's my brother!
Was that Debbie? I want the truth. Oh, God, that's awful. Can I do Kevin like Mick Jagger? Yeah, I want the truth.
He's my son! He's my son! He's my brother!
Oh, yeah, I said I wanted the truth.
There's no slap there, but I put one anyway. He's my son and my brother!
Then Abby shakes Kevin and says,
Kevin! It's Weatherfield, baby.
and scene. Well, I think that went wonderfully.
I'm sure Noel now regrets putting an extra L in my name.
So, Noel sent 2 emails, and I read the second one first. And the second one said, I've revised the script because I realised that the last line should read it's Weatherfield, not Coronation Street. And I've decided that the casting of my epic movie script, which nowhere resembles any Hollywood production from the 70s with the title Chinatown. I read that first and thought, what the fuck is Noel talking about? And then saw the first email and all started to make sense.
There you go.
The beauty is in the edit. Then Wendy writes, I know I've been quiet lately, but this came to mind. We need a moment for, who the fuck is that? I muttered this to myself while watching this week. And she includes photographs of Lily and Shona's dad. Shona's dad, who looks like...
My dad.
Well, he looks a little bit like your dad. He looks a little bit like Kenny Rogers. And he looks very much like every shopping mall Santa I've ever seen. But more confused. Well, Shema writes, hi both. Hope your weather's improved. It has. It was 40 degrees today. And you're both well. Just watching Thursday's episode and I was struck by how much Lily looks like Claire Danes. She does.
She does. She looks like a young Claire Danes.
Yeah. Her screwed up crying face when David and Jodie brought her home from school was so familiar, and it suddenly struck me she is a spit image of her. I absolutely agree. Am I going mad or can anyone else see it? Yes, I can see it. Keep up the great podcasting work. You're the highlight of my Saturday morning.
Aww.
I usually listen while doing park run, and you take away some of the pain. Well, Shema's fitness putting us all to shame a little bit there.
Except for Todd's.
And Will's. And then Cheeky writes, I didn't know that when I turned on Coronation Street this week I was going to have to deal with Jodie trying to poison Ivy her way into David's bed. I also didn't know that not only were we going to have to deal with more of Theo's abuse, but also Todd lashing out at a literal child when he should be using all of that aggression on Theo.
Arguably a homophobic child who
Yeah.
I would lash out at as well.
And undeniably an asshole.
Yes.
I like the idea of Lauren actually being with someone new, but Ollie feels more like stale bread. Either way, I really like watching Debbie handle herself in the prison unit, and I loved the bit between Debbie and Ronnie where she went from her old jovial, joking self to the second that they were about to be separated, where all the fear and sadness came back in an instant. World class. Sam will eventually take down Megan, and I can't wait to see that. Hope all is well. Thank you very much, Cheeky. Thank you to Cheeky, to Welsh Emma, to Wendy, to Noel.
Do we really want to thank Noel?
To our scriptwriting Noel, to Tina, to Aileen, to Una, and to Michelle,
And VB Amy.
and VB Amy.
And Mohammed.
Thank you very much, folks. We very much appreciate it.
And to the statue of Rambo.
It's very lifelike, isn't it?
It's better looking than the Rocky statue.
Yeah. Send us your thoughts and I'll probably read them out. Get us at the talk of the street. gmail.com, where our DMs are open at Corrie Podcast. I would love it when people write actual letters to us. Send us your proper mail to the talk of the street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan 48827. Please note that we reserve the right to edit feedback, but only in the interests of brevity. And now we'll podcast for coffee. Thank you to Jen from Manchester for our coffees this week.
Thank you, Jen. I was drinking cranberry juice.
I'm on my old soda stream, but I've discovered Tim Hortons. So I think a lot of the coffee money will be going in that direction. I've been catching up with the Corriedales and festive episodes, and you both have been invaluable guides.
Aw.
Cheers. Well, thank you very much, Jen. For our coffees this week, we very much appreciate it. The Talk of the Street is and will always be free on your podcast provider and on the YouTubes. But if you think a show is worth anything more than the time it takes to listen to it, if you want to show your appreciation, or if you want more weekly and monthly content, or if you've got a one-act play that you're workshopping, head on over to corriepodcast.com, click on Support the Pod, and then Friend of the Podcast. For $2 a month, you get access to our weekly spoiler show, The Talk of the Street Spoiler Alert, and our monthly classic Corrie show, The Talk of the Street Classics. This month, we're talking about episode 2284 from February 21st, 1983, where Ken throws Deirdre out. And if that wasn't enough, you also get access to our Discord server, a shout out at the end of every podcast and your name in the credits on the flagship. If you prefer something a little less formal, you can also buy us next week's coffee, just like Jen did, by clicking Buy Us a Coffee. Remember, you can always support the podcast for free and get us in front of new listeners by liking, subscribing, rating and reviewing wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, our Friend of the Podcast run came to an end this week.
Yes, I'm very sad. I'm very sad I don't have to salute you this week.
I worry that by making a push for 50, I've kind of put people off. Oh well.
Or just jinxed it.
Totally jinxed it.
Totally jinxed it.
I think I've been jinxing it for a few weeks leading up to that, though.
Yeah.
By drawing attention to it.
So is it still at 48?
Yeah. Shall we dive in, my dear?
Yes, please.
Our first storyline this week is Sister from the Same Mister. My opinion that Jodie is slipping. I quite liked her a few weeks ago.
I'm still having a hard time deciding whether I like this whole single white female sort of thing going on here.
Yeah. It's still kind of funny in some bits, but it's mostly becoming creepy. On Monday, Shona is filling in David on the hunt for her dad, but he's looking at her like he's got a wee bit of shite on his top lip. Shona is sure, though, that Jodie is hiding stuff from her, and at that, Jodie comes down the stairs with discovering what Shona just said. She's all dressed up with somewhere to go, and heads out to that somewhere that she's got to go to. And Shona suspects that she's off to get her hole from Carol, so decides to follow at a safe distance, which makes David make that face again. Shona is hiding round the corner and sees Jodie on the phone to someone, promising to see them later, and after loud greetings from Ryan and Dev, that was kind of funny, wasn't it?
It was.
Hey, Shona.
Yeah.
And she's like, shush.
It was funny the first time. It got less funny when, it seemed like practically everybody on the street was shouting her name as they walked by her.
Well, it happened twice.
Yeah.
Ryan did it, and then Dev did it.
Right.
And Dev was funny because he was, I don't know.
He was
on some kind of upper.
He was sniffing the flowers too heavily. And
said, "Powerhouse!" a couple of times. Do it once. Do it 3 times. Don't do it twice. That's what I think.
It's the power of 3s, isn't
exactly.
it?
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like Dev counted for 2 people.
Dev was at least 1.5.
He was the tulips and the roses.
He was.
And the tulips! Which would have been my choice as well.
Would have been the tulips.
Yes. Everybody knows how much I love tulips. Those tulips over there on the other side of the table.
I saw that coming.
Oh, yeah.
So Shona nabs Jodie and pushes her into Nina's rolls, insisting that she doesn't get her hold of a Carol. Jodie says that she wasn't intending to, and she's hooking up with some other guy, some guy called John instead.
You don't know him, he's from Canada.
Damn it, Helen. He's from Canada. Shona won't know him. Shona seems satisfied and lets Jodie go, but then in conversation with Gemma, they agree that nobody's called John anymore. Fuck this, says Shona, and she follows Jodie again, this time to a care facility where her near catatonic dad, or Santa Claus, is being cared for.
Or my dad. It is weird, isn't it, that there are so many J names in the show and not one of them is a John?
I honestly haven't given it any thought. It seems like Shona's dad's having a bad day, but He can get quite angry at times, says Jodie. Shona demands to know how long he's been like this. Well, since you left, says Jodie. Shona says hello to her dad, but he reacts very badly to this and becomes agitated to tell Shona that this isn't right and Jodie's a liar and ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And Jodie can't be trusted. The nurse ushers everyone out the room where Jodie tells Shona that her dad has had it in for her for some time and is still big on conspiracy theories like he used to be and how hard it was to care for him before he came to this facility. Shona wishes that she could have helped and reminds Jodie that she and David are there for her, and she seems to just breeze over this whole Jodie is a liar and she can't be trusted thing that her dad just screamed at her.
Right, yes.
Later, Jodie goes back to see her dad on her own and tells him that he's not about to blow this for her. She's about to get her happy ever after with her new family who really care for her, and her dad can suck on her balls, and she leaves him to it.
To suck on his own balls.
Oh. On Tuesday, Lily is super excited by a new Aqua Rain Cup being released. This will become something of a theme for this week's episode.
We've decided to do the Stanley Cup craze thing 2 years after the Stanley Cup craze happened. Well done, Coronation Street, for keeping up with the kids.
Well, it's written so far in advance, right? She will not shut the fuck up about this stupid cup until Shona begs for her. Please, stop talking. Lily reacts badly to this and storms off to school. David, sensing that Shona's worn out, once again tells her to stay at home and he'll go and see Harper. He suggests that she goes out on the town and has some fun instead of sitting with her sick baby. And Jodie's ears prick up about this. So when Shona appears at Nina's Rolls later, where Jodie is now apparently working shifts now.
Yes.
This is her job now.
Sure. Roy is so distracted by this whole Alice thing that he doesn't even want to show his face.
And mentions going back to see their dad. Jodie's quick to poo-poo this, thinking it'll upset him, and who wants to be around such negativity anyway? Come on, let's go get pished instead. So they go home to get ready, and Lily comes home looking a bit bedraggled. Shona says, "You look like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards." And Lily claims that she's been beaten up because her water bottle wasn't one of those new Aqua Rain things. I still don't know what she was saying when she was saying that. Was it Agua Rain or Aqua Rain? Or was it anything
Who
rain?
the fuck knows and who the fuck cares? Nobody's beating you up over a cup.
Shona's about to hit the roof about this fucking water bottle pish again. Lily says they only care about the baby fighting for its life, not about her or her water bottle needs. Jodie says,
does she hear herself?
I know it's.
Does she hear
it's
herself?
Not a great look.
The new Lily had already had an uphill battle after locking Sam out of a classroom before he got murdered by Mick.
Mac and Me. Mac from Mac and Me was...
All right, Paul, right, enough of that.
Was roaming the halls of Where High.
To murder people.
Armed to the teeth.
With Rambo.
Stand down, Mac. Stand down.
The old Lily would never be like this for, being threatened by a baby. I hate when these people don't know how to write teenagers.
It's just such a character shift that she really doesn't hear herself.
Right.
And she doesn't say it in exactly these terms, but that's what she's saying. The only thing anybody cares about right now is the baby that might have cancer at the moment.
Yeah. The baby that might die is getting more attention than me.
Mm-hmm. It's not a great look.
I wonder why that is.
And I wonder why nobody's saying to her, this isn't a great look. You need to wind your neck in here.
Even if the baby didn't have a giant tumor on its neck, babies take a lot of work. Babies can't feed themselves and dress themselves and get themselves to a toilet.
No matter how much you leave them to it.
All of these things are things that Lily can do on her own now. So Lily needs less attention and care than a baby.
Jodie lies and says that Shona was just saying how proud she was of Lily, but this is enough to put a smile on Lily's face and she goes up the stairs. At the bistro, while Shona's nipped off for a shite, Carl comes over and tries to arrange getting his hold with Jodie.
Have you noticed on the show, practically everybody who gets up to go to the bathroom now says, "I'm getting up to pee." Do you think that's your fault?
No, they say I'm off for a waz.
Yeah, which is a pee.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it maybe is your fault because you constantly say that they're going for a shite? So now on the show, they all have to say that they're going to pee.
I hope so.
I couldn't help.
I think it's funny imagining them all going off to.
I couldn't help thinking.
poop.
I couldn't help thinking that when like the third person this week said that they were getting up to take a pee, or was whatever.
You know, sometimes you go for a pee and it turns into a shite.
But enough about your social life. Let's go. Let's continue.
It actually does pass for a social life.
It's your morning meetings.
It is. Dropping the kids off at the pool. Spending £1 in twos and ones. But anyway, enough of that. Carl comes over and arranges to get his hole with Jodie, but Shona's just finished her shite, comes back and throws water over Carl and chases him off. Bad dog, to your bed. Jodie has a pretend panic attack because of all this aggression. Shona tells her that she has her back a month after surgery, and Shona is throwing back the shots while Jodie is pouring hers away. And Shona's literally fighting Nick for a menu which involves her stretching her arms over her head, which shows off her belly, which doesn't appear to have been sliced open in the last 5 weeks.
In fairness, that's not the part of her belly that would have been sliced open. That's a little too high. That's not anywhere near her pelvic bone.
Sure, but she had her hands over her head.
Right, and she was stretching, which she wouldn't be doing if she had a C-section in the last month.
Focus on that bit then.
Yes.
She's wrecked when Jodie calls David and they bring her home. Jodie tells David how seeing a loving family has made her realise what she's missed, and she asks him to keep her company for a bit so the two of them settle down for a movie. David telling her that she's welcome to stay for as long as she needs because she makes them tea.
What movie do you think they watched?
A Single White Female, maybe? Fatal Attraction.
I was thinking Human Centipede.
Oh, or Human Centipede 2.
Is that better than the first?
Define better. On Wednesday, Shona is rough as a badger's arse in the morning and shocked to learn that Jodie wasn't.
An American badger's ass.
Privately, David tells Shona that Jodie's a bit of a weirdo and she's so needy. Shona's appalled and thinks David should be making more of an effort, so David goes to Nina's Rolls and tells Jodie that Shona thinks that he should get to know her better. Jodie, though, is too gushing as she tells David how much she appreciated everything that he did for her last night. We watched the movie, he says. But for Jodie, it meant far more for her, and she gives him a big hug from behind. David laughs nervously and leaves, and then tells Nick how much of a fucking weirdo this Jodie is.
You know, and the show... I hate when the show does this. The show used that picture of Jodie hugging David from behind and David laughing nervously as like the still thumbprint.
The thumbnail.
Yeah. And it makes it look like he's enjoying that hug, the still.
Yeah.
He's obviously not when you watch the show because it's incredibly uncomfortable and weird.
That's a good choice then. That's to get people to tune in.
Right, to think that
watch it.
To get angry at David and think that he's going to cheat on his wife with her sister.
I think that's where they're
I
heading,
think
don't
we've
you?
already done this, and we've already done it in the same family.
Yeah, which is why Nick thinks that Jodie's fine, and he tells David to watch his step so that he doesn't upset either sister.
Right.
David appreciates that Nick knows what he's talking about.
Right, to which Toya looks up and says, what?
Back home, and Jodie has the house to herself as she goes through her trinket box. She fingers the flash drive, a silver Zippo lighter that's engraved with "Love You, Jonesy." She fingers a ring.
But not like that.
And a necklace with a locket that has photos of two girls. And I think we've seen this before because I was sure that those were her children.
Yeah.
But now I'm not thinking that.
You're thinking it's Jodie and Shona?
I'm not thinking that either.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking this is a classic serial killer trinket box. This is keeping keepsakes from her victims.
You think Jodie is a serial killer?
That's what I'm thinking.
You think the show is bold enough to make a female serial killer?
I think so.
How many female serial killers have there been in history?
Are we including the Russian ones?
Sure.
A few. Not many.
Not many.
Not many when compared to
men.
To us men.
Yes.
We're number one. But
yes, but we're the emotional ones.
But there's been some.
Yeah. It's Aileen, what's her name? That from the monster movie.
Well, what's making me think this is all these things aren't or don't feel that connected. Who's Jonesy? Why would you have the lighter? What's this flash drive got to do with anything?
Well, her name is Jodie.
What's the ring?
I can imagine a Jodie, somebody nicknaming somebody named Jodie Jonesy. I can kind of see that.
No,
it's only a one-letter difference.
That's somebody whose last name is Jones.
Well, maybe she was married to someone named Jones.
Or maybe she's a serial killer, Helen.
Or maybe it's quite possible. But why would that Graham guy have her tied up in the back of his van then? Unless he knows she's a serial killer and she killed
He's
someone.
a good guy in all this.
He's the good guy in all of this. What?
By the way,
That would be crazy.
I've been watching Graham on Emmerdale, and his voice is so deep and raspy. It's an awful lot of fun to listen to, but it kind of hurts me a little bit in my sternum. I've seen some agreement for this online. I'm just throwing it out as a possibility.
When you say it, it makes sense.
She's no right. Let's agree on that.
There's something weird going on there.
Right.
And it seemed, and maybe her dad found her out, and she did something.
She's
to
made him like that.
Yeah.
Because why is he living locally? Where was she living before this? Again, there's so much that we don't know about this.
Right.
So Shona comes in. Jodie hides all the stuff, but keeps the locket out. So Shona asks about it and who the kids are. Jodie claims that she doesn't know and that she picked up from a charity shop.
Right.
So
And Shona says, "Ooh, mystery babies."
that's exactly what a serial killer would say.
No, Shona said mystery babies.
No, that she'd picked up from a charity shop.
Yes.
On Thursday, Jodie gives David a fright by popping out of nowhere from behind the counter.
That was funny.
She's made him coffee and a bacon sandwich, and is surprised to learn that Shona doesn't do any of that for him. Later, she's dusting the living room when she deliberately smashes a photo of David and Shona together.
Right.
Just as David comes in.
She knocks it over, and then she starts stomping
She stamps
on
on it. But she's be crazy. She claims it was just an accident, and she's very remorseful. He doesn't think it's a big deal.
Right. It's like, we can get another frame.
They can just get a new frame, or they can just look at the identical photo that's in the stairwell. She's worried that she's jinxed her marriage, and he jokes that it's already jinxed, which she really shouldn't do.
Right, yes, because she's like, "Oh, really?"
Right.
And he's like, "No, not really."
Hashtag joking.
It was a joke. It's the meme of the German guy on The Simpsons saying, "It's a joke."
McBain?
Yes.
What do you expect me to do with this pea shooter?
That's the joke.
Yes, that is McBain.
Yes.
Ah, The Simpsons. I don't want to hear it, McBain. Anyway, then he gets a call from the school that Lily's crying and won't say why. So David and Jodie go to pick her up because apparently mystery tears are good to get you out of class. If you were worried that we weren't going to get any development on the stupid cup storyline, worry not. Because when they get home, we learn that Lily was crying because her friends were taking the piss out of her because David apparently is such a skinflint he bought her a knockoff version of the cup that she wanted. Jodie relates a story of her own bullying. Somebody, Murgatroyd? And her first name wasn't Heavens to? And says that the love of her family is far more important than what stupid girls think about a stupid cup.
And that does kind of seem like a creepy serial killer thing to say, now that I hear it.
It gets worse though, because privately though, when David's gone, she tells Lily to smash the bully's teeth out with the fucking cup.
Right, yes, and now I see it.
And Lily seems to think that this is just a joke.
Right, yes, and also maybe somebody from the wrong side of town might say, because Shona used to beat the shit out of people too, back in the day. She was kind of rough.
Rough and ready.
Rough and ready. So... So on first hearing, you think, oh, it's just because she's from that rough side of town. Not the projects, but whatever the equivalent of the projects is.
The Paul Robeson estate.
No, that's not what it's called.
Yep.
Paul Robeson's from America, though, isn't he?
Robeson. Robeson.
Yeah, Paul Robeson. Famous black opera singer.
I don't think it was named after him.
Is there another Paul Robeson? We're learning so much this week. Yeah, American bass baritone, Paul Robeson.
Yeah, I don't think it was named after him.
Why would the show name it that then if it wasn't for famous American bass baritone opera singer Paul Robeson?
I think in the UK, Famous is doing an awful lot of heavy lifting there.
He was in Porgy and Bess, the movie.
Oh, well, everyone in Manchester's seen that.
He sang Old Man River.
Anyway, this is the estate where the Dog and Gun is. That rough pub where...
The Dog and Pony.
Yes. In Nina's rolls on Friday, Jodie learns from Adam and Daniel that it's Harry's birthday next month, and so she texts Shona to see if they want her to organise a present. David's very... Is a hard yes on that.
But Sarah's weird, isn't she? Like, how old is Harry going to be? And she's like, oh, he's just going to go to the movies with his friends, and then we'll have a party maybe later. It's like, is he old enough to go to the movies alone with his friends?
At the hospital, Shona is dead impressed by this, and David is also impressed at the advice that Jodie gave Lily that he overheard yesterday. He didn't hear about the smashing their teeth in.
Right,
but
yes. He missed that part.
Then a cheery nurse comes in to tell him that Harper's surgery has been booked for next month. Back
The 4th.
home, Shona and David are thrilled by this. David's saying that he'll be relieved to have the family home, all 4 of them. Jodie looks put out by this. In prison, Max mutters
is also-
motherfuckers under his breath, and Clayton is doing laps of a metaphorical graveyard.
So Harper's getting her surgery on Star Wars Day. No, that's May the 4th. Never mind. What's wrong with me tonight? Oh, dear.
And that's as far as we get with that this week, thank God.
Yes. March the 4th be
So,
with you.
I don't think Jodie's doing it for a lot of people. I'm kind of enjoying her, I have to say. Not as much as I was to start with. Not as much as I was like the first couple of weeks after Corriedale's, when her mystery was making her quite the enigma of a character. She's still sort of an enigma, but
Yes.
I don't approve of the whole cuckoo thing that she's trying to do with Shona's nest here, so to speak.
Yeah, I enjoyed her at first, but the weirder she gets, the more put off I am.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the lead up to this flash forward is concerned, Jodie is, I think, being set up as one of the potential killers / victim.
Yeah. I would hope the other victims are Theo,
Yes,
Carl,
yes,
and Megan.
yes. There's 5.
And so then we add Jodie to it. And who else do we hate?
Maggie.
Maggie as the 5th victim / killer.
Yeah,
She has killed before.
I think the heavily carpeted stairs and that
Yes.
narrow stairwell have to take some of the responsibility for that, but she certainly was the one that knocked that first domino over. I don't think Jodie really is in any danger here.
Except for being maybe the killer.
Yes. But I don't think she's a killer either. She might be. If she is a killer, then
She may
she's
kill
killing,
again.
and she's probably killing Carol, I would have thought.
Yeah.
It's the only one that she really has a connection to at the moment.
Or her own sister, which would be very single white female. Anyway.
I don't think she's high up on the list. I think it's an outside bet. Moving on, our next storyline is Bernie'd out of her Bernies. On Monday at Nina's Rolls, Ryan is in for a coffee and is shocked to run into Mal, who he recognises from the rape hotel with Bernie that
He does
night.
a double
He's
take.
like, "What?
What?
She downplays it until Ryan's about to leave and then asks him not to breathe a word about this to anybody. So none of my beeswax, says Ryan, and he leaves her to it. Later, she's telling Jim about that night and how the bloke kissed her, but only for a second. Then Mal appears briefly and Bernie tells Gemma that was a bloke. Gemma is literally agog.
She is. If you've
So
never,
much so that her breakfast falls out of her mouth.
If you've thought of the word agog and thought, what exactly would that look like? It's Gemma's face.
Yes. She advises Bernie tell Dev before someone else does. So Bernie goes home with the intention of doing this. But Dev, unfortunately, is 147% Dev today. With
Yes.
powerhouse tulips for her. And he's also quite randy.
Yes.
But she persists and tells him about dropping the eckies and winding up passed out in the toilets and then in hospital. She hasn't even got to the bit about snogging Mal. And Dev is so offended that Bernie would go back to her past life, especially now that she has him, and especially after she accused him of smothering her. With his butt super hurt by all this, he goes up the stairs on his own, presumably to have a cheeky Tommy tank. On Tuesday, in Dev's, Bernie's trying to make amends, but he's not interested in small talk. She tells him that she took a pill and that was the end of it. She's no intention of doing that again, but he doesn't believe her. Later, she tells Gemma this and tells her that she told him about the drugs but didn't tell him about Mal. And I was like, oh, thank God she said that, because what I thought was going to happen is that when Gemma inevitably goes to speak to Dev, she would blow that part of the story.
Yes.
But she doesn't. But she does go and have a word with Dev as he's tearing the house apart looking for more drugs. He's such a drama queen. Gemma reminds him that Bernie's shagged a lot of scumbags in her time, so it takes a little while to realise that Dev is one of the good guys, apparently. And she reminds Dev of how much Bernie's hurting, and turning against her isn't the best thing to do right now.
Right.
Dev thanks her, but it sounds sarcastic. But with Dev, it's difficult to tell. In Ina's roles, Mal's getting his lunch and asks Bernie why she's in such a foul mood. Stupidly, she tells him about Dev knowing about the drugs and taking it badly. Mal says, if you were my woman, I'd forgive you instantly.
Like, you were the dude who gave me the drugs, so you wouldn't forgive me because there'd be nothing to
he
forgive.
wasn't. She was the one that went
Oh,
out to
that's
get the
right.
drugs.
Yes, never mind.
She deserves better, he says.
It's all a blur.
And Dev sounds like a total prick to him. Somewhat belatedly, Bernie tells Mal to mind his own fucking business. Later, Dev comes in, apologises to Bernie, and they kiss and make up. Mal sees this and privately tells Roy that he's going to have to do a total rewiring job, so he's going to be in the calf for a lot longer than expected.
And Roy says, but we had a total new rewire in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And Mal says, yes, but the COVID has eaten through the wires.
That's right. And something to do with vaccinations.
Right, yes. I was surprised when Roy said that everything had been rewired in 2019. I don't remember that storyline.
I believe it. Maybe that's why he left for South America.
Oh, that's right.
And that's when it became Nina's roles.
Right.
On Wednesday, the makeup of Bernie and Dev has continued into Wednesday, and they both take a day off to be deplorable together.
Yes.
By the evening, they're still loudly giggling and laughing, which is all lovely.
Yes.
Until we see that Mal is hanging around literally right outside their front room window.
Like a bad smell.
Like a midnight creeper. And that's as far as we get with that this week.
He's a sicko at the window going, yes, yes.
Ugh.
Actually, I thought Mal looked rather sad and downtrodden as he walks away from the giggling window,
Yeah.
kicking a can down the street.
Because we need another creepy villain in the
Sad
show at the
sack.
moment, don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah. Like a hole in the head.
Are you believing the Inverness storyline yet?
You know what? I just don't fucking care.
I don't care about this either.
This is giving me nothing to care about because he made up with Roy rather quickly. If Roy was being threatened, I'd still care. But Roy is not being threatened.
No.
And Bernie can handle herself and is not going to leave Dev for this guy. And I don't think he's going to murder her.
No. He is going to, I think, try and manufacture some situations which kind of makes him like an older male version of Jodie.
Yeah. I still want to see Alice.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced that there is an Alice.
It makes me wonder if he's the actual guy from prison.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a psycho situation we've got going here.
Well, he's able to very quickly move his entire life to Weatherfield, apparently, suggesting that he doesn't really have any ties anywhere else.
No. So he doesn't own a creepy old hotel then. Sad.
Maybe I'll put in a bid for the rape hotel. All right. Moving on. I was pleased that Dev and Bernie made up, though.
Yes.
It annoys me whenever they fall out because it's typically Dev overreacting, but Bernie knew what she was marrying into. Moving on, sucks to be a Webster. On Monday, Debbie is back in prison, but in a wheelchair, as if that's going to help anything. A visit, and Ronnie tells her that he'll be kicking off prep for the appeal forthwith. Debbie was supposed to have a prison welcome ambassador appointed to help scoot her around.
Yes.
But she's nowhere to be seen, so Debbie's left on her own.
Just kind of sitting there.
Then, would you, Adam and Eva cakes it. The ambassador shows up to collect her, and it's
Woohoo!
only fucking Lou.
Yay!
And her hair's
Woot woot.
not quite as blonde as it used to be.
Well, that's fine. We
You-
are happy to see her.
You stuck-up cow, says Lou, and she pushes Debbie back to her cells angrily.
You thieving slut.
I was wondering if what noun you were going to go with there. Lou, it appears, has beef with Debbie over the whole not paying Mick thing and making out like he assaulted her. And according to Lou, they were all happy before this.
Sure.
After this rant, Debbie's curious that Lou hasn't asked about her kids yet. Oh, pig's tits, says Lou, and she slinks off. She comes back later to get the goss, and Debbie says they're all fine, which annoys Lou that Debbie would wind her up about that. And that's
Yeah.
all that happens there. But yes, very good to see Lou back.
Yes.
I'm glad that they're
Oh,
using
thank
her.
God.
Because
Lou was great.
she got a few years, didn't she? And then she got a few more years added on because she was getting into fights or whatever. So she's in prison for a while.
Right.
I'm hoping this doesn't mean that Debbie's in prison for a while.
I can't believe that Debbie would be in prison for a while. The truth has got to come out, right? Just like with Yasmin and just
Yeah.
like with Sally, the truth will come out and she'll get out.
The wheels of justice can be slow to move, though, apart from the times when they can move at lightning speed
Right.
to put her into prison in the first place.
Yeah.
So there was no more mention of the appeal this week. We'll see, but while Debbie is in there, I think she and Lou are probably going to become
Friends.
best of friends.
They're going to be besties
Like Sally and Abby did
Right.
when they were in the nick.
together. Yes, that's how it happens.
And Abby punched
this kind
Sally in the face so that she would get some hospital time or something.
Right. In this kind of show, they're the best of friends.
The best of friends.
Yes. Roommates even.
Are we friends? Only if we're the best of friends. On Friday, at the hotel, Ryan's had a great idea to put QR codes in the rooms so guests can get room service without the inconvenience of talking to anyone.
Yay!
That does sound great, doesn't it?
Woo! Please do this, everyone. It's such a great idea. You just stick the QR code right there. You just go bloop. You don't even have to get out of bed. And you've ordered food and you don't have to talk to a person
You do have to talk to a person, though.
when they bring the food up.
Yeah.
They could just knock on the door and leave it there. The way that the pizza man does sometimes.
I'm wearing a towel. So I used to order room service quite a bit when I was travelling on business.
Back in the days when you traveled on business before the pandemic.
Oh, before living here. I used to do it all the time. And
You didn't do it in Vegas
UK.
and
That's not
Seattle
really-
and
that's-
some of the other traveling places you went?
those were conferences more than business trips. Although I have had the occasional business trip to Nashville and Denver.
Yes.
But I remember doing it mostly in Reading, outside London.
London.
And I would think about maybe just not eating rather than speaking to somebody. So, Carol thinks this is a stupid idea, but eventually agrees. Later, Ryan is frustrated by Carol's attitude, but Ronnie is there to give his backing. So when Ryan finds the stickers in the trash, he calls Carol out on it. Carol's unrepentant, so Ryan puts on his big boy underpants and fires Carol on the spot. You can't do that, says Carol. Funny, I just think I did. And Ronnie backed the decision, Ryan says.
Right. It's funny because when Ryan first says, all right, I've had enough, Carl, narcissist that he is, thinks that Ryan is now quitting, that he's worn Ryan down by
Over the QR
throwing
codes.
QR codes away. And so now Ryan is quitting. It's like, how big are your imaginary balls to think to think that you were such a gift to the world.
And his views on QR codes were absolutely on point. Later in the pub, Carl's on his phone looking at the hotel's insurance documentation, which lists Carl personally as the sole benefactor. First of all, that sounds like a really strange insurance document.
Right, yeah, it looked like a very strange, because there was no signature or anything on there. It was like a web page that he was looking at.
You would think that a insurance for a company building would pay out to the company.
Right,
And
yes,
not-
and not a person.
Not some bloke.
Right, which makes me wonder if this is a insurance policy that Carl himself has taken out on the Rape Hotel.
Oh, maybe. No, I think we were under the impression from, spoiler alert, last week that the Rape Hotel was going to be ablaze. Maybe that's paused for a week or something.
This story will be furthered next week.
Right.
But whether anything goes up in flames next week, I don't know.
I like Ryan standing up for himself.
Me too.
I like Ryan as a boss.
Me too.
I like Ronnie having Ryan's back, because Ronnie doesn't really think that he owes Carl very much either.
No.
Of course, no one knows the true relationship between the two of them, but I get the feeling that Debbie would have Ryan's back here.
Yes, I think Debbie would have had Ryan's back as well, because Debbie put Ryan in charge of the hotel.
Over Carl.
Yeah. So
She maybe wouldn't agree to him losing his job.
Right. No, I mean, she knows that he wants to leave. So, which is one of the reasons why she put Ryan in charge in the first place. So,
Right.
who knows?
No, I wish that we'd got a little bit more of the Debbie and Lou stuff. I'm glad that we're getting some more of that next week.
Or are we?
I think we are. I would hope
Or
so.
are we?
You're not going to bring Lou back and not use her. It's bad enough to only use her once in this week's episodes.
You'll have to become a friend of the podcast
That
to
doesn't work,
find
Colin.
out.
We tried that last week. It doesn't work. All right, next story we have Theo No Sleeves.
Boo!
I am getting so tired of this.
Please, somebody murder this guy.
On Monday, Sarah hasn't put her nose where it's not wanted for a while, so she goes to see George and tells him about the incident with Todd and the sponsorship money from last week. She's worried that Todd is depressed about Billy, and given how they were each other's last resort, that's a nice way of putting it, is worried that Todd is in some financial bother as well. George insists that he pays Todd a fair wage, but promises to have a word with him later. Later then, they all meet up in the pub where George and Sarah treat Todd to some booze and then a speed dial takeaway for afters.
Yeah.
And Todd doesn't have to put his hand in his pocket.
It's so nice, isn't it?
Nothing like alcohol and saturated fat to shake the blues away.
Right. Well, look at George. He enjoys saturated fat and booze.
On Tuesday, in Nina's rolls, Summer's down in the dumps because she can't afford to go out with her pals tonight. Pals? Is that Asha then?
And Nina. And Summer. Oh, no, wait. She is Summer.
She is Summer.
Asha, Nina. Isn't there Amy?
Amy. Mhm.
Amy.
I've seen Amy in ages.
No, not since Summer ran into her room and passed out.
Mostly because she paid for the groceries the other day. Todd sees George in the corner and Nina Rolls talking to Roy about a wonderfully memorable ham shank. That was supposed to be dirty. Todd asks for an advance in his wages, and after a fashion, George agrees, warning him to rein in his spendings if it's a problem. Back home, Todd gives some money to Summer so she can go out, and he hides the rest in a jar at the back of the cupboard. And he looks for a moment like the act of doing this should be raising some red flags that he really should be acknowledging.
This is part of the reason why I hate the story so much, is that we got Todd. We got Todd to admit that this was a toxic relationship that he needed to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
He was making his escape. And then Billy dies, and he forgets all of that?
Well, they're still classifying Theo's actions that night as being heroic.
What actions? Oh,
Attempting to rescue Billy, as far as they're concerned.
Todd doesn't think that.
Todd does think that, because they talked about it, and George has said,
Well, George
Theo
does.
was so brave.
I don't think Todd really believes that, does he?
what do we see him doing? I mean, he's taking Theo back.
But there's a look on Todd's face. There's a look on Todd's face all the time that says,
It's all the time.
This isn't right. I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to be here. And yet,
Well, he's scared of Theo, obviously.
well, yes. But we've also seen him stand up to Theo. It feels like
He always gets pushed to a certain point and then Todd reacts and the situation explodes. Theo assaults him in some way.
and then makes it all his fault.
And then is super apologetic afterwards before
Right.
making it all his fault.
It just feels like they're stringing the story along much longer than it needs to be. It feels like it's past its expiration date already. And it's already a story that I don't think any of us wanted. We wanted the story about conversion therapy and
It seems so far away now, doesn't it?
right. And not yet another coercive control storyline.
They're taking the time to tick every box of types of control that Theo's taken and the types of abuse that Theo's committing on Todd. Because we get the financial
Right.
and we get a bit of sexual
Yes.
coming up.
Yes.
So
And it feels like we'd already had sexual already before this week. There's been a few times that Todd has seemed like he doesn't really want to go into the room and have sex behind a closed door. And Theo just doesn't let up until Todd just gives in
right.
behind closed doors.
So at this point, Theo has been away for a week.
Yeah. And
And now a week and a half.
leaving Todd with 10 pounds.
With £10. On Wednesday, Todd and James have been for a run and celebrate with a couple of bowls of delicious porridge, all paid for by James. Back at the flat, Theo comes home to his own fanfare. Todd wonders why he didn't tell him he was coming home a week and a half after he left. Theo says that he wanted to see what the mouse got up to when he was away and has already heard about the brunch with James. Who's talking about this?
I feel like he must have walked by and seen them.
No, he says that he went into Nina's Rolls and somebody told him that, oh, you just missed Todd, he was in with James having brunch. Who would say that?
I don't know.
Sarah.
Brian.
Todd is quick to point out that they had porridge. As Todd goes to get changed, Theo glares at the stupid Wallace and Gromit picture of Billy that's made its way into the flat. Theo later sends
Which
Todd...
looks like it's but a photocopy.
Yeah. Like a fifth generation photocopy. Theo sends Todd off to the shops to get stuff for dinner and gives him a tenner, tells him to bring back a receipt. And when Todd's gone, Theo puts the photo of Billy in the garbage, thank God,
And then takes it out
and
to
then
the
takes
dumpster.
it to the big bin. When Todd comes home with the groceries and the receipt, Theo is obviously in a mood, and it's because he found the speed dial meal for two in the trash, and he calls Todd a fat fucking piggy, accusing him of eating his daily calories in one meal with James. Todd says it was George, and it was a treat, and George had paid for it. Theo doesn't want to hear it, and insists to go for a long run as punishment. During the run, James is surprised to see Todd doing another big run today. Back at the flat, Todd notices a photo of Billy's gone, but Theo claims not to know anything about it and blames Summer of all people.
Right. He's like, oh, maybe Summer took it to her room.
Just
Sure.
dreadful. All that running has got Theo in a randy mood, and he's keen for his hole, and he takes a huff when Todd wants to shower first. But when Todd sees Theo inspecting the receipt, he knows what's coming, so he decides to get his hole after all. And afterwards, Todd is shocked that during the passionate love-making hole-getting session, Theo has given him a nookie badge.
A hickey.
On Thursday, in the morning, Todd is sheepish about the nookie badge, but Theo finds it hilarious that Todd's been branded as his property. On his way to work, Jake, who's an asshole now, is leaning against the hearse outside the Undertaker's. Todd tries to chase him off, but gets a mouthful of cheek in return from Jake, who spots the nookie badge and starts ripping the piss out of Todd.
He's a child mocking an adult
Yes,
for a hickey.
yes. Which actually seems fair.
And does it? Would you, like, this isn't even an adult he's around a lot.
No.
Would you as like an 11-year-old or 13-year-old, I don't care how old he is.
He's umpteen years old.
Would you like point and laugh and make cracks about their sexual prowess to their face? You would not. The type of asshole.
Jake is only 12 at the moment.
Well, thank you. So, yeah. As a 12-year-old, would you be, making sex jokes at adults that you barely know?
I have been known to be an asshole to an adult when I was a child.
Yeah, but like sex jokes, asshole? To an adult you barely know? Granted, in Karen Shore, you'd probably get boxed around the ears for that at the age of 12.
For the shore, they take you all the heat. What called Totty?
Yeah, exactly. What you said.
Inside, George is expecting the daughter of one of his deceased customers and is thinking he's in line for some praise and is wondering why Todd's wearing a scarf. Rather than the praise, though, this woman, Annie, comes in and accuses George of manipulating her mother because apparently George is in her will for her 10 grand savings. She calls George the organ grinder, Todd the monkey, and Christina a scouse bint, even though Christina's from the Wirral. And it's funny, though, because she says to Todd, you're in on this. And Todd says, I'm not in on it.
Right.
Like there is in it.
Right.
So George has to say there isn't in it.
Right.
George is shocked to his very core as the woman promises to see them in court. Later, Todd's and Dev's surfing the reduced bins when Jake comes in and offers Todd a tenner and then asks if he's pregnant.
Yeah. Feels a little homophobic.
I'm not sure I understand what that means. Because he tries to relate it to the money.
And to the hickey. Like, oh, you have a hickey, so you must have had sex. Or are you pregnant now? Gay man.
It's a strange thing to say.
It feels like, yeah, and again, it feels like a 12-year-old wouldn't be saying these things blatantly to the face of an adult.
But then Todd threatens to shove a brush up Jake's asshole, which he probably shouldn't do. When Gary comes in and tells Todd to back off, saying that he's behaving more like a kid than Jake is. Todd shuffles off, but by the time he gets home, Theo's heard from Gary, because Gary is such a bitch, and thinks that Todd has shown him up, like Theo can't control his boyfriend.
I can't control my bitch.
Todd blames all this on the Nookie badge and says he didn't want any of this. And this makes Theo ask if the sex wasn't consensual because, judging by Todd's noises, it was. Todd pauses for long enough for this to be a null and void answer.
Right.
And then agrees.
Right, yeah.
Tell me you love me, demands Theo. And Todd complies. And that felt like
Creepy.
perhaps one of the lowest moments
Yeah.
for Todd in this whole story.
Creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I consented to the sex. I did not consent to, this giant bruise on my neck.
Yep. As a professional man.
Yeah.
Working with the public.
Yeah, working with the grieved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On Friday, Todd's out running again and thinking about all the horrible things that Theo had said to belittle him recently. And
it's set to music? I was so confused by that. What is going on here?
And it's so much that Todd collapses outside Nina's Rolls just as George and Christina come out. They help him up, take him to the undertaker's, not to bury him, but
Not
to see
yet.
if he's okay. Christina wants to call him an ambulance,
Todd, you're an ambulance.
but Todd doesn't want to be called an ambulance. Thank you
Todd,
very much.
you're not an ambulance.
Christina helps him to take his trainers off and was shocked to see how bloodied Todd's socks, and so therefore his feet.
Yes, and she also wants to help him take off his top, and he freaks out. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's because of the bruises.
Yeah. George tells him to ease off on the running as he'll be no use to anyone dead. Todd agrees to take it easy for a couple of days. And that's as far as we get with that.
And then die. I'm so tired of the storyline.
Yeah, it feels like it's gone as far and as dark as it needs to go.
Right.
And then it's gone a little bit further.
Right.
And now we need to have some kind of light at the end of the tunnel to
Right.
work towards that this is coming to an end.
Yeah.
I think we all know that it's coming to an end. There's
It's
stuff
just
in the soap press about it.
Not soon enough.
But yeah, it's been going on for, since the summer last year?
Yeah. Yeah. Back when it was a homophobic conversion therapy storyline. And then they killed the conversion therapy guy for no reason.
With a heart attack.
Off screen. And I feel like if this coercive control storyline was where they were headed the whole time, I feel like they would have written Danielle differently.
Yeah, she's
And I
not
feel
so
like-
by her absence.
And I feel like there's a big reason why we have not seen her
Or her fucking kids.
or those stupid kids.
Because Millie's like, you know.
I'm pregnant. I'm going to order a belly off the internet.
Which never arrived.
Dad, you can stop being gay
Millie,
anytime you want.
You've got consumer rights here. You should be getting on to some watchdog or other to get your money back.
She probably ordered it from Temu.
Oh well, you're on your own then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for this to be done as well. I do think it's been wonderfully acted, but there's so much else that's so dark at the moment in the show, and especially this week. It feels like it's been a really dark week.
Yes.
All the emphasis on the villains, presumably for what's happening next week.
Yes.
But it's...
Or in April.
Right, you're like, which, God, feels like so far away, even though it's only a couple of months, but we've got to put up with an awful lot of this for another couple of months. Well,
right.
hopefully...
Yeah. Well, they do love to drag a storyline out
Yeah.
until it dies.
I thought Christina was really funny when the woman was doing her dinger in the house.
Right, yeah.
The Undertakers.
Yeah.
The facial expressions from Christina were hilarious.
George's face was pretty hilarious.
I wonder where we're going with that bit, though, because we had the big cognac last week.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, is this the same woman?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. But it's like, you would think that your daughter would know where your money's going before you die. Wouldn't you?
Well,
I
not
mean,
necessarily.
I'm not even the executor of my mother's will, and I know where her money's going.
Well, you know where she said it's going.
Right, which she tends to be truthful about
Well,
stuff like that.
Well, suddenly we're talking about your mum now and not this woman's mum.
Right, yeah.
Who
but,
knows what this woman's mum's like?
Yeah, but it feels like it shouldn't be a
And
surprise.
if you're intending to give your savings to the Undertaker, maybe that is something you keep secret.
Right, but it can't possibly be all her life savings, the 10 grand.
That's what Annie said.
Is it? I thought it kind of felt like she was just offended that he was getting so much.
No, this was her savings, she said.
All of it?
Yeah, and the 10 grand was enough to make everyone's eyes turn to pound signs that were in that room.
Supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of funny. I noticed the look in your eye.
Mm-hmm.
They're pound signs. Oh my God. This just kind of reminds me of the fact that I hate watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory this week.
Oh, which one?
The Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp.
Oh.
And there's the scene in when Charlie finds the golden ticket and the people inside the shop in England offer him $500 and then $1,000. And it's like, Tim Burton just does not give a fuck.
Yeah. Timothy Chalamet's my Wonka. All right, we'll move on. Our penultimate storyline, Portrait of a Lauren in Love. On Wednesday, in different Driscoll news, Ollie was supposed to be hanging out with a mate before he becomes a dad in the next week or so, but the mate has pulled out, which if he had
But not
done
like
earlier,
that.
which if he had done earlier, he wouldn't be becoming a dad.
That's true.
This is cue for Lauren to insist how much of an awesome parent she is to Frankie, who she barely sees. She sings him to sleep, apparently. Ollie says that Frankie pretends to be sleeping because her singing is so fucking awful. Lauren offers to prove that she has the voice of an angel by going to some karaoke with Ollie at some point. Ollie says, well, how about tonight? And let's get something to eat first, and Lauren agrees. So at the bistro, Lauren says to Ollie that his friend doesn't exist, does he? And you just made him up as an excuse to ask me out. But Ollie says, no, really, he really was my friend and he really did cancel at the last minute. Lauren is so shocked and embarrassed by this that she has to nip off for a quick shite to compose herself.
But declares it's a was instead.
No, she was doing her shit. On Thursday, it seems like the two of them didn't go to karaoke at all. But the next day, they share some light-hearted, journal-based banter about how much they enjoyed the bistro. Ollie announces that he's going to a student party at a friend's tonight and invites Lauren along. She's in two minds because, well, students, and she thinks it'll involve reading a book or something. But he insists it'll be a laugh, and plus, it'll be another night away from your child.
Student parties, are you just going to sit around and read at one another?
So Lauren runs round to see Betsy and ends up dragging Carla and Swain into the debate over whether Ollie has asked her out on a date or just a party as friends, plus the whole student thing. Carla thinks this is 100% a date, but Betsy points out that Ollie hasn't referred to it as such. Lauren is so confused, it's like a Jane Austen novel. And she's like, well, I think Ollie just sees me as being a laugh. I'm sorry, a what? He sees you as a what?
In fairness, the two of them together laugh, and she smiles when she's around him.
They do. And creepy Ollie is a million miles away from this charming young man.
Yes, he's delightful now.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, she agrees to go and she gets all dolled up. Ollie makes it more ambiguous by joking that they need to get there on time for registration.
Right, yes. The student joke again.
On Friday, separately, both Lauren and Ollie describe their evenings as something other than a date to people, and both of them feel like they've been friend-zoned. Betsy, though, is a great friend who is sick of Lauren complaining about this and has texted Ollie, because why wouldn't she have his number? And apparently he has confirmed that he likes Lauren after all.
Yes. And we get to see Carla playing with Frankie.
That was lovely.
Which was so cute. It was so cute seeing Carla with a baby, and she's not going, oh.
I know, I felt
Because usually when we see Carla with children, she's like, oh, get this thing away from me.
I felt my ovaries tingle a little bit at that. Just a little bit. Or the sub-ovary area.
Where your ovaries would have been if nature hadn't gone a different way. Because we're all female at first.
Oh, my ovaries, man. My fallopian tubes are giving me such jip.
It's like I could feel my tubes untying while watching Bad Bunny during the halftime show.
Huh? Really?
He's hot. What is your
Is he?
problem? He is.
I don't see it, man.
He is. He's pretty hot.
My ovaries were unmoved.
Were your ovaries moved by seeing Ricky Martin?
No.
Lady Gaga?
No.
Pedro Pascal?
No.
Jessica Alba.
Eh.
You used to love her. You love her in that.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
That man's hair has not aged. I am so impressed by Billy Joe Armstrong's hair.
Yeah. Do you think it's real? I'm not sure.
I want to believe, Gav. I want to believe that Billy Joe Armstrong's hair is still real.
Light doesn't penetrate that hair. It's amazing. Yeah, I do have a thing for Jessica Alba now I think about it. I get her confused with another Jessica though.
Rabbit?
Who I don't have a thing for. But who I've ended up watching movies thinking that it's Jessica Alba.
And it's another Jessica?
And it's another Jessica.
So it's not like how, sometimes I think that you have a thing for Anne Hathaway and not Anna Kendrick.
Oh, Helen, it's like you barely know me. So, this was the fun storyline.
And it was fun.
I thought it was fun.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Lauren going to the House of Sappho to get advice about dating a man. Mm-hmm. And how everybody gathered around her in that house and was supportive and gave her advice.
Through song.
Right. Lisa and Carla and Betsy all rallied around her. It's really nice to see Lauren kind of having, found family in the community in this way.
I did also like that when Betsy invited Lauren over to the house on Friday.
Right, for a girly night.
She said, bring Frankie.
Yes.
Because at this point I'm thinking, this is yet another evening where that child is fending for itself.
Right. Who do you think watches Frankie when she's at work?
Well, see, beforehand it would have probably been Dee Dee, wouldn't it? But Dee Dee's in Singapore now.
Yeah, and has her own kid. And it would have been Max, but Max is in prison now. And I think maybe Shona and David, but now they have their own cancer baby, so... Or maybe Sally, but not Sally, because Sally has loose kids now.
And Lauren can't afford childcare.
No. Where does Frankie go?
Hollywood. I feel like we now must move on. It's a shame. We had more to say on that, but after that joke, we've got to move on. Our final storyline tonight is Meet the Driscolls.
Meet the Driscolls.
On Tuesday, Sam is in Nina's Rolls with Nick when he's spotted by Daniel, who's there with Megan. He chases Sam up for his English essay, which is now late, and Sam's going to get his first ever late mark. Sam says he handed it in, and Daniel must have lost it. Megan pipes up, sounds a bit like a dog ate my homework, and she and Daniel laugh like assholes. I wouldn't say that, says Sam,
Because they are hassles.
because I'm not a fucking liar, and that shuts Megan up. Meanwhile, preparations are underway for Eva's birthday, and let's just do a blanket
Oh, fuck off, Maggie.
Thank you.
for this entire episode. The meet up at the bistro, and Megan and Daniel and Leanne and Sam have all been invited. Leanne and Daniel talk about teaching standards, and Daniel says that students are taking ADHD meds to help them concentrate, and apparently this is a big problem.
Yes.
Eva Cakes asks Sam how he's doing at school, and Toya, fucking hell Toya, pipes up about Sam getting his first ever late mark. What a great stepmom you are, Toya.
Thanks, Toya. Thanks a lot.
Sam,
Asshole.
Sam pleads his innocence, and Will says, well, you can't be right about everything, and does so in such a snarky way that Megan's eyes nearly pop out. At the bar, Will tells Megan that Sam's going to blow this story wide open, but Megan insists that she's got that swatty wee prick's cards marked. On Wednesday, I'm so confused.
Yes.
Sam's waiting to go to school and is texting someone called Wilf, which is far too close to Will.
Right. And also MILF.
I prefer him texting the MILF. But Wilf, when it's written down in a text message, looks totally like Will. And I'm thinking, why is he buying or trying to buy ADHD meds from Will or Wilf?
Right.
And why Sam want to buy these from anybody in the first place?
Right. And
£5 a tab, apparently.
doesn't it feel a little convenient that Daniel just happens to mention this in regular conversation at the dinner table, which makes no sense?
Yeah.
This is not something you... Oh, I've read recently that lots of children are abusing ADHD drugs for wrong purposes. Study purposes. And, well, yes, that's what kids who have ADHD need them for. But, you know, I understand what he's saying, and it is true, especially with, like, college students. But is this something that you would bring up as just normal, like, dinner party conversation?
Yeah, the whole conversation was...
It's, you know what it reminds me
inappropriate.
of? It reminds me of Sam talking about climate change.
So, this seems to be because everyone has said that this is the most important school year of his life, so it's vital that he suddenly starts abusing drugs.
To study harder because he doesn't study hard enough already?
At school, Megan accosts him in the corridor, claims that his work is slipping and asks if everything's okay.
It's like, how do you
And offers to
fucking
help.
know,
You're a
lady?
PE
You're a
teacher.
gym teacher. Get the fuck out of my face, woman.
Is his work slipping, or is it just one missing essay? I'm wondering to myself.
Right, because it is just one missing essay, which isn't actually missing. And he could just easily just email it to Daniel right away.
But it still gets a late mark. That's the point that they made.
I don't understand why Daniel is grading physical copies to begin with.
No.
It's 2026.
In the pub later, Will is worried that Megan's pushing Sam too hard and he'll crack and blow the whole deal. Megan insists that Sam's clever and knows not to try to meddle with her. Will is unconvinced, so much so that his hair starts to vibrate with nervous rage. Later, Sam is studying at the bistro with Nick, and Toya worried that he's pushing himself too hard and that he needs to take a break. To that end, Nick weeps out a £20 note for Sam to go and do something nice with on his own at this time of night. But Sam's on the phone to Wilf and ordering 4 lovely tabs of ADHD medication, and it does so politely. proving that he can divide by 5 at least. On Thursday, a package arrives at the Rovers for Will, and he's very excited to present it to Megan in the middle of a busy corridor at school later.
Right, yeah. It's so stupid.
She drags him round the corner to a quieter spot and reveals that it's a baby rugby shirt with Driscoll on the back. And I wonder if that's going to become important at a later point.
Ah.
She's mortified and quickly hides it just as Daniel appears, curious to know if everything's okay. Megan insists that it is, and then scolds Will privately for being such a stupid asshole. Will is furious at her reaction. Daniel talks to Megan about this in the Nina Rose later and his concerns about Will, but she downplays it and says it's just teenage boy stuff. And she quickly deflects to Sam, who she says hates her, and she explains about her offer to help that he declined. Sam comes over
and also, it once again, it's like, it's just proof that Daniel is book smart, but he has no common sense, because instead of him being kind of high and mighty about this, like, oh, like, you know, kids these days, they can't look a gift horse in the mouth. He's not saying, why would he need your help?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you even offer to help him with his grades instead of, oh, I don't know, running?
Right. Sam comes over and is pleasant to both of them, which Daniel, of course, takes as face value. Megan is sure it's performative, and Sam can't stand her. Later at the bistro, Sam takes delivery of...
She does know that all of these people have known Sam since he was a wee boy, right?
Oh, we're forgetting about this. Later at the bistro, Sam takes delivery of some pills while he's sitting at his little study table in the corner, and he washes one down with a glass of water. So he really does want these pills.
And
I'm
it
like,
makes
I
no
really
sense.
don't understand
this doesn't make any sense. Why would you make this kid who would never take drugs for any reason and should not have any reason to think that he's slipping because he knows he turns that thing in? Why would you do this to this kid that we all know? It's like when they gave a personality change. Well, it's like the personality change that they've given to Lily with the new face and to Jake being an asshole at 12 all of a sudden. It's like none of this makes sense. It's like Dee Dee and like Bernie. It's like every single character that they're like, oh, I want to do this storyline, so I'm going to make this person that everybody's already invested in, that everybody already knows, have a complete and utter personality change just to do this storyline.
If we had to believe this, we needed to have some setup going back a few weeks where Nick is worried about Sam's schoolwork slipping.
Right, yeah.
That the pressure of school has got to Sam and his schoolwork is slipping.
Right, we would need to see more than just one essay go missing. We would need to see Sam get a bad grade on something.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't had that.
And we haven't had
so
that.
the only thing we've got to go on is this one English essay.
Right, yes. Which Sam knows he turned in.
That for some reason his PE teacher wants to help him with.
Right. And that, again, he knows he turned it in. And so Daniel must have lost it.
On Friday, in the pub in the morning, Will is on the scrounge for an advance in his pocket money, but Ben quickly tells him to get to fuck. Will is furious about this. It's so unfair, and as he storms out, he knocks over and breaks Susie's generic tablet device. You'll be paying for that out your wages, says Ben, and this just infuriates Will more. Meanwhile, Daniel is off to meet his attacker at the prison, something that Adam has warned might not provide the closure that he wants. Because remember, Daniel was twatted over the head at Christmas. He meets Colin, who limps into the room and gingerly takes a seat like his chalfonts are playing up. Colin explains that he has an old Achilles injury that's been plaguing him for months in the cold weather. This is weird because Daniel remembers someone running away and clearly that couldn't be Colin, and he questions Colin about it. And the copper that's with him isn't pleased with the way that this is going. Surely you're not suggesting that the police planted evidence, Mr. Osborne, you fanny.
Right.
And Colin...
And it's so funny because, like, before Colin came in, the lady copper was all like, oh, you know, this is such a great opportunity for the two of you to sit down together and talk about your feelings. And then as soon as the guy comes in and Daniel's immediately suspicious, she's like a different person.
Yeah, but it really does highlight that... Did Daniel say that this guy ran away? Because if he did, rudimentary investigation would suggest that this maybe isn't the man.
Let's not forget that the British judicial system thinks that Debbie caused Billy's death.
Oh, that's because everybody thinks that. Colin eventually admits that being inside is better than being on the streets. He's got a roof over his head and
Right.
he's warm.
He doesn't care.
Back in Weatherfield, Maggie's warning Will to keep his temper in
Were
check.
you surprised that Colin was so young? I expected an older man.
What I really liked about Colin, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this was acted.
Uh-huh.
What I really liked about Colin was that he looked haunted.
Yeah. Yeah, at first I was upset. I was like, oh, come on. I thought this was like an old man, an old shriveled man with a long beard. I thought this was going to be Homeless Stew all over again. Not that Homeless Stew was shriveled, but he did have a
Shona's dad.
beard. Yes. I expected an older bearded man. And he's younger, but yes, he does kind of have this haunted...
Nervous hauntedness about him.
Yeah. And you believe him when he's like, I've got a roof over my head. I'm happy.
I thought it was a great bit of casting for this character that we're never going to see again.
Right, yeah. It's too bad.
Well done, Colin.
Bravo to Colin.
Back in Weatherfield, Maggie's warning Will to keep his temper in check because no one wants a repeat of the Daniel incident. Plus, we have to be conscious of Ben's fragile heart. Will promises to keep his cool, and so he goes back to the pub and apologises to Eva Cakes. Daniel comes in and talks to Adam, who's been in the pub all day apparently, about how he's sure that Colin wasn't the guy who attacked him. And suddenly Daniel looks at Will and a penny drops. Daniel goes through the back, and this is so ill-advised as well. Tells Will that he wants to reduce his training until the exams are over. Will doesn't think that Megan's going to go for that. And when this doesn't get much of a rise out of Will, Daniel tells him all about the holidays planning with Megan for Easter holidays and how they'll be shagging like bunnies the entire time. And oh, my kid really loves Megan as well.
Yes.
Will says that Megan is too good for Daniel.
Which is a bad thing to say if you're trying to hide your relationship with your teacher.
Mm-hmm. Daniel then suggests that the person who attacked him at Christmas was a runner and had a big messy mop of curly hair. Something
Lots of people have this hair.
he says as he tries to flatten his hair.
No, they don't.
Something that would have instantly ruled out poor Colin if it had been mentioned. Will denies it, but Daniel thinks the reaction speaks volumes. Later he explains his theory to Megan, who obviously downplays it, and when Daniel says he's thinking about taking it to the police, she tells him to sleep in it. Later, she hightails it to the pub to warn Will, but Will's a bit busy at the moment talking to Kit, who has asked him down to the station to answer a few questions. Daniel, it seems, chose not to sleep on it at all.
Yes.
Will panics, makes a break for it,
Right, yes.
runs into a closed door, and so he's easily caught and arrested while Megan helplessly watches on, and that's how we end this week's episodes.
Yeah. If you want people to think that they're being unjust and that you're absolutely not guilty, you totally try to do a runner.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a dumb kid.
Now, there was also a little scene here where we saw Will run for the first time.
Yes.
That kid is not a runner.
Was that the first time?
I think so, because he runs like a clown. His feet flapping on the pavement. I don't understand this. Well, I do understand it because it's cheaper. But to have people training by running on
Cobbles.
on concrete and cobbles doesn't seem a great idea.
No.
But I don't know why they made Will like a runner, because he's so not a runner. When you see him run, he's so not a runner.
Well,
he's like a
him-
shot putter or something like that, or a javelin thrower.
They couldn't have another, football player.
Well,
It'd have to be
he
something creative.
Needs to be something that a woman can coach him in.
You don't think women can coach football?
I think for a men's football team, you're probably likely to be coached by a man.
Yeah, and it feels like it would have to be not a team sport,
Right.
because of the one-on-one sort of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been tennis.
Well, I think they've said that he's a long distance runner, or a country runner, or something like that. Where
It never really occurred to me until now how funny it is that they have all these people running on cobblestones.
all of them.
Yeah.
No wonder Todd fell over.
Right.
Probably does his ankle in every day.
Right.
Yeah, you just hear his feet slapping on the pavement, and it's just struck me as odd. It's obvious that he doesn't run. So why show it? It's just a really strange thing to do. And it came right after, I think, the scene where
Todd was running.
Daniel remembers the running.
Right.
So we see Will running, so us stupid viewers can put two and two together.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know, it was a really weird scene.
Yeah. Anyway, another storyline that can, end anytime it wants, please.
Yeah, again, the sooner the better. Will, I keep on forgetting, is suspicious of Megan to some point, to some degree.
Right, because he's been made suspicious of her with the whole Lee guy.
Yep. And Megan's insistence that dating Daniel is
cover.
Sleeping with Daniel is cover. And Megan is... Do we think she's pregnant? I'm now not entirely sure if she is or not.
I
That
mean,
whole
I don't
abortion
feel
thing
like
was
she
handled
would have.
really weird.
It was, and it doesn't feel like. It feels weird that we saw her go into the back, but then like the next day she's like, "Oh, I decided not to have it because I don't know. It's really hard for me to get pregnant," and it also feels like, is that true? Because if it was really hard for you. I don't know. The show plays fast and loose with female bodies, let's say.
Yeah, and there was a moment where she refused a drink the next day, and she was just on orange juice because I think Daniel ordered her a pint of orange juice. So that sort of plays into she is pregnant, or at least she's pretending to be pregnant. Why she would pretend to be pregnant, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just, like you said, it's fast and loose, and I'm not sure what to believe here. But I am more than done with it. This has infuriated the Driscolls, though. Maggie's calling solicitors, and Ben's going down to the station, and all this sort of stuff. The Driscolls are in action. Poor Susie's crying on the stairs as her...
Right. No, not Will. Boo.
Not that guy.
Not that guy who smashed my iPad earlier. And it was stupid, too, because he's like, "Oh, I need new trainers." And they're like, "We just bought you some." "Well, I need the better ones, the ones made by the cup people.
Right. Yeah.
The audacity of the children on this television program, I tell you.
Don't get me started. All right, that was the week that was Coronation Street. Helen, your moment of the week.
It's Lauren in the House of Sappho, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Carla playing with a baby and not acting grossed out about it.
Yeah, I think so. I would love some consistency in Lauren's character, because one week she's been a surly cow.
Right, painting her nails at the bar.
And refusing to serve people until they've really decided what they want to drink.
Right.
And then this week she's kind of fun.
She's right, yeah. It's like they heard us complain.
I'd much prefer this one.
Yes.
And this was a light relief this week, and I fairly enjoyed it. And I really liked Ollie.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's say
They've
that
made us like Ollie.
Lauren going to number 6 for some relationship advice from Lesbians and Betsy as our
Moment of the week.
Moment of the week.
Your boring moment of the week.
Daniel just randomly rattling off statistics about ADHD drugs.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That's our
Boring moment of the week.
And I thought I was bad at socializing.
Oh, well, you're comparable to Daniel. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yay!
Do you know on X now, or as I like to call it,
Twitter,
when you do a poll, you can put a photograph next to the items in the poll.
They really want people to stay.
So my meh-zzz this week has 3 pictures of Billy. One for one for meh, and one where he is
sleeping,
heroined out of his tits for the zzz. I think it's affected the voting though, because the way that the poll is presented looks really weird until you actually vote. But the voting anyway, it stands at 18.2%, meh 59.1%, and yay 22.7%. We don't let that influence our scores, though, Helen. What would you give it out of 10 this week?
Yeah, well, I didn't like this week as much as I liked the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is maybe the worst week this year. I think it's been really good so far this year.
I think it's top 5. I feel like there was something I hated more than this at some point last month. But anyway, do the lesbians do enough to? Like, I have so much love for Carla and that baby. I don't know why, but I just love Carla holding that baby.
Do you know, I did feel it in my ovaries.
We're going to get letters, Gav. We're going to get letters.
We invite them.
5? And that's being generous, I think.
Yeah, and I think those are our lowest scores this year. 5 and maybe a 5.5 for me. Maybe just a little bit better than straight down the middle. I did like the Lauren and the Ollie stuff, but it was far too much villains a go-go.
Yeah.
And it was heavy going.
Yeah. Yeah, because we get all of them.
Yeah.
We get Carl, we get Theo, we get Jodie, and we get Megan. Too much.
Far too much.
Too much. One a week, please.
All right, let's wrap this one up. This episode was brought to you with thanks to our friends of the podcast: Daisy, French Helen, Pickles, DT, Wendy, Noel, Canadian Helen, Christy, Shandy, English Victoria, Aurora Yvonne, Heather Westerfield, Russell Whiting, Brittany Porter, Laurie Anna, Tina, Leah, Tara J, Fiona B, Canadian Jennifer, Josephina Tingy, Anne Greenwood, Trish R, Sarah Purbrick, Ali Q, Hunker Munker, Darren, the artist formerly known as Sail My Fridge, Pamela, Marge JT, Tom Ambrose, Christopher Anstey, Terry in LA, Joe T, Corey Dales, Matthew McKinney, Welsh Emma, Matthew S, Rachel B, Uranium Jennifer, Catherine Monchero, Gary Heatley, Pam but not that one, Una, Amy, Jenny Roll, Aussie Ali, and Chris Horrocks. Thank you ever so much, folks. We very much appreciate it. If you've ever nipped off for a shite, write in to tell us about it. We're the talkofthestreet@gmail.com. And we're at, I'm going for one later. And we're at Corrie Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Or you can reach us the old-fashioned way, the Talk of the Street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan 48827. Our spoiler show will be available shortly after this one. And in this month's classics, we're talking about episode 2284. Get access to this exclusive content by becoming a friend of the podcast. Find all the links at corriepodcast.com. And be sure to check out our pop culture sister podcast, The List of Lists.
'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free.
Thanks for making it to the end of another episode. And we will be back next week with more
Talk of the Street.
The Talk of the Street.
Bye.
Cheerio.